welcome to another episode of the Snake Channel TV show, the first TV show dedicated to unimaginably upgrading your life with the power of telepathic snakes. I am the psychic known as Snake Channeler, and this is Shesha, and we have a lot of things scheduled to talk about. I have a lot of things on the back burners that I would like to talk about, and I would just like to mention some sponsors after first thanking you for co-creating this space with us. The Snake Channel has always been, hi baby, the Snake Channel has always been a co-creative work. The Snake Channel wouldn't exist without you and your participation in the psychic work, the psychic questions, sending in questions. And this is our 8th year of working with the Snake Channel and you. So what a milestone. Please continue to follow, like, subscribe, share this YouTube channel with anybody and everybody. Obviously, the more subscriptions, the more likes and shares we get, as per usual with everybody else, it just really helps us unimaginably upgrade. And Shesha is here with me in my armpit right there. And I would like to thank the sponsors of this show. So Shesha, if you don't mind. The first sponsor that I would like to introduce us to is Kelp Mineral. Kelp Mineral is a beautifully crafted, organic, holistic healthcare and beauty line that is sure to unimaginably upgrade your skin. I am not wearing any foundation, I'm not wearing any powder because I am really dedicated to detoxing my skin from just the elements and foods and makeups and so on and so forth. So what I am wearing is just 3 days of Kelp Mineral treatments, and it is going quite well. I will say that this product really activates a deep remembrance of just natural beauty care, and it also kickstarts a huge detox process, which I am personally really thankful for. So thank you, Kelp Mineral, for sponsoring this episode. Our next sponsor is Afterglow Aerial Arts. Afterglow Aerial Arts is a aerial circus school located in Portland that offers all kinds of kid classes, summer classes, as well as professional training to join the circus. You can also take many virtual classes. I've been taking virtual classes with Afterglow Aerial Arts for years now, from contortion to splits to aerial, yoga. There is just so much more to explore with Afterglow Aerial Arts, and it's a wonderful way to engage with community no matter where you are through your body, and to unimaginably upgrade through movement. My spine and hips have gotten so much healthier and stronger since working with Afterglow Aerial Arts, and I could not recommend them more highly. And what else do I have on the schedule for right now? Oh, yes. So the episode's word, the word of the day, is love. And apparently the definition, according to Siri, of love is an intense feeling of affection. I chose love because I think that love is really the divine frequency and choice and emotion that cultivates all miracles, transcendence, unimaginable upgrades in a very divine way. Love is also a great destroyer in a world that is, or a universe that is a give and take universe. To love is also to destroy, because one thing is always exchanged for another. So often when we're looking for a way to unimaginably upgrade our circumstances, while choosing love might seem like a cliche, it is the most powerful way to destroy without rupturing our own healing processes, or the healing processes of others. So love is the word of the day. Remember, love is also to destroy, because when we exchange one thing for another, activations happen. The tarot card of the day is this Four of Pentacles, and it's reversed. The book says a crowned figure having a pentacle over his crown clasps another with hands and arms, and two pentacles are under his feet. Now, I think that this is a very interesting card for the day, because it does seem to truly reflect our current events. If you were watching this video after the current events, then perhaps this card still speaks to you, and chances are, because psychic messages are limitless, no matter where you are, no matter who you are, and what day you click on this video, this card will probably resonate with you. The reversed divination and meaning in this card is suspense, delay, and opposition. So suspense, delay, and opposition with the reversed Four of Pentacles could refer to the looming political climate that we have right now. It could also refer to the current state of affairs in our bodies, in our immediate household, in our culture, or within our interests. And one of the beautiful things about existing in suspense or delay or opposition is that there's so many messages coming through from the universe for us. And the more mystery, the more space for unimaginable upgrades. And generally, the more opposition we're faced with, the more we're able to actually register, to actually recognize what the hive mind is saying, and to choose inner narrative. And a little personal intro about me. If you're new to the Snake channel, if you're new to this space where we're doing longer recordings more frequently, or if you followed us on Instagram for these last 8 years, before giving psychic snake readings, I practiced ceremony and ritual with indigenous groups from, in Africa and then in the United States. So my work with indigenous ceremony and ritual actually started at a pretty young age. I started when I was 11. I was initiated into work with a Sangoma in Johannesburg. She was very successful and quite a famous practitioner in her own right. And I learned how to communicate in a psychic way in ceremony, and I'm really honored that she had me in that space. I then went on to work with various indigenous practitioners in the US. So as my family traveled, I was just really welcomed into a variety of indigenous ceremonies, and I pursued them. And so I kind of just became the token snake girl in all of these ceremonial settings. And I've always been interested in witchcraft, ritual, ceremony, wondering what is on the other side of any group think belief system. So I did grow up going to church. I grew up as a Methodist. I went to church every Sunday for the first 8 years or so of my life. and it was not particularly for me, but I had a insider perspective as to what happens in those rooms, and in the ritual of singing. Something that I really loved about growing up in the Methodist church that I did was our choir and organ was really beautiful. So a lot of beautiful hymns and ritual within really even just the Methodist church. So from there, I learned to kind of like listen to my inner voice and to adapt to the changing world from leaving church mentality to joining indigenous ceremonies and practices, to also really knowing that I myself was not the indigenous practitioner, right? Like we shared commonalities and also had cultural differences. So I have moved forward in a way where I have honored the tradition that I have been taught, and also I assimilate and adapt to a ever changing world. So while my fundamental understanding of spirituality, ceremony, witchcraft, and religion comes from tradition, I really do value being a psychic spiritualist in the internet world. And I hope that we can all kind of like continue to prosper from our own adaptations and assimilations from our personal backgrounds into whatever spaces we choose. And I think that it's just marvelous that both the tradition and the new wave of psychic spiritualism on the internet all exists. So when I started to offer psychic snake readings, I got basically just immediate attention and immediate success from offering them. I toured the country doing psychic work, and pretty soon was met with intelligence agencies, Pentagon officials, Hollywood masterminds, musicians, CEOs, and it was wild, right, to do this trajectory. I did do it intentionally, and it did happen. And so I have been paid to channel psychic information with Shesha for the stars. I've also been offered various government positions, and I have developed skills in remote viewing. I've been paid to do psychic work. I've been paid to do remote viewing work. And I have developed these skills and techniques, and all of this is so very real. And behind the scenes, I'm always researching. I am very adventurous. I really love to explore life and what mind can do and what body can do, and what spiritual activations you get from just exploring and examining life. And so now I am here to begin sharing my experiences with you, teaching what I have learned, what I continue to research. And if you would like to know more, just continue following the work. Part of the like occult mysticism of information and of the intellect is that there's a difference between education and indoctrination. And so while I have a lot of information and experience to share with you, I will also start in a way that's not entirely, over our heads. And this is because the intellect and the occult magic of intellect in balance is consensual. And if I were to just kind of like TMI and overshare with you all right now, that would be considered indoctrination, which, although is wonderful for power some regards. I am not here to cultivate power by indoctrination. I am here to teach, to continue co-creating, and to really activate your inner dialogue to access limitless, unimaginable upgrades in your unique path of who you are. And again, the word of the day is love. So to love is to also destroy, and in exchange for one thing we get another. So when we give all, we can often take all, and I am here to assist in love. So Shesha is also being very loving today. Hey Sheesh, hey Sheesh, where are you off to, my angel? Hey. Without bumping the camera, maybe you can be here for a second. This process is new for us, and so while we're learning how to set up a higher quality video and mic, Shesha is also being asked to move a little bit differently in these videos, and so that means not crossing over this cord, because crossing the cord would bump the camera. And there's so many things that we're working with. I know, I love you, honey, and you're doing such a good job. Shesha has been a part of the psychic snake readings and offerings since 2018, and since truly, honestly, before that, but that's when he came into my life and we started to work together. So Shesha has been to just coast to coast tours doing psychic work with me, and he has met the stars, he's met the intelligence agency personnel, he's met with the Pentagon officials, he's met with members of NASA and advanced engineers. He really is quite the dude. And of course, we have also met with our loved ones and strangers and everybody in between. Okay, so the first topic of today is do you have it? What is it? You can do all of the spiritual activities that are trending. You can read the tarot cards, you can do the rituals, you can go to the goddess ceremonies, right? You can do ayahuasca, you can do breath work, and still, if you do not have it, none of this is going to get you anywhere. And so, what is it? What is the magical ingredient that allows people to actually activate unimaginable upgrades and spiritual awakenings in these practices? And how can we develop the ingredient that is it? The X factor, the it factor is inner dialogue. So if you have inner dialogue, then anything that you do becomes fruitful. If you do not have inner dialogue, then you are always following hive mind, and if you're following hive mind, you will never really begin to step into your unique path of cosmically symbiotic, unimaginable upgrades. In part, I think that this is because while we exist in this density together and in this dimension together, we also are unique beings. The name of the game isn't one being. to become one. The name of the game is surely to unite as vastly different beings and to accept, love, and continue forward. So, like, what does it sound like when you hear your inner dialogue? Do you have an inner dialogue? Does your inner dialogue sound like a narration? Does your inner dialogue sound like a monologue, or is it a dialogue? Is your dialogue, your inner dialogue, a whole, room filled with people who are over talking over each other? Is it just one dictation that tells you what to do? I really do want to know what your inner dialogue sounds like. And please feel free to comment below so that I can kind of work with this more. Inner dialogue has really become kind of the epicenter of what I am curious and interested in working with people to develop, because developing the it factor allows everything to become valuable. And hi, Sheesh. And so if you want true freedom, it begins with inner dialogue. And I got this very cool write-in to the Snake channel this week when I was talking about inner dialogue work. And she says, I know I can say this to you without sounding conceited, but my whole life I've been told that I have, in quote, it, the thing that no one can quite explain. When I did theater, I might not have been the most talented one on stage, but they would say that I had it. When I performed music, again, I definitely was not the most technically perfect, but they would say that I have it. And while it's such a huge compliment to be told that I have the one thing that other extremely talented artists just don't have, it's also extremely confusing and disheartening because I have no clue how to harness it. And when you think too much about it, I think it starts to suffocate it, because we overthink things and then try to harness it. Woof, dude. And yes, like I have goosebumps just even reading that again, because the it factor is a element that exists in a certain dance that we can do within ourselves, and it's not something that we can necessarily harness or overthink or overcomplicate. There are a kind of trifecta balance to overcoming the hurdles that keep us from really existing in the it factor or the flow. And so I love that you have it. And everybody watching this does have it. You can hear yourself speaking to yourself as I speak. And that is it, right? So it happens when we allow ourselves to think. It also happens when we allow ourselves to make an action. And then the third part of it that usually comes through is when we are just existing. When we are just simply existing, we are able to connect to something different. So, existing, doing things that we're supposed to do, but aren't necessarily attached to playing the guitar or to learning the script or to making, oh my gosh, what are you up to, hun? What are you up to? Where are you up to? The it factor happens in play, the it factor happens in education, and the it factor happens in action. So knowing when to eat, play, learn, make an action are all beautiful ways to begin learning how to listen to that it factor. And generally, when you're working with the it factor, when you have it, you begin to need a lot of time to yourself. You begin to need to separate yourself from people who quiet that inner narrative. You begin to be called into understanding how to listen to yourself in a way that really does call you away from um, from the people who are following the hive mind. So just like in the Matrix, once you realize the Matrix, the people of the Matrix become your greatest enemy, it's really important to know that if you want to harness it, then you also will need to avoid the people who do not have it. So this reminds me of a question that a friend asked me yesterday. And she said, psychically, I have a question for you. How do you get other people to unimaginably upgrade? And the short answer to that is you can't. So what you can do is you can choose the path of unimaginable upgrades for yourself, to choose to widen and to strengthen your inner dialogue. And then from there, it is truly a process of simply letting other people be as they are and seeing who is actually there for you when you do unimaginably upgrade. So allowing yourself to change, allowing yourself to evolve often requires the math that Shesha has explained to me as this. When you want to change your life, evaluate the percentage of the life that you would like to change, and then assume that you will be changing that percentage of your day-to-day schedule to invoke the space to unimaginably upgrade in that percentage. And so when you are ready to unimaginably upgrade from something, when you are ready to harness a new level of life, of spiritual growth, of harnessing the inner dialogue, of really exploring life in this way, it needs to become a moment of trust and faith that your inner dialogue is going to open up a universe within that is so amazing that your outer world and your outer world circumstances are not going to be the priority anymore. When you turn into your inner dialogue, all of a sudden your inner world is so valuable that the outer world and its circumstances simply do not matter. They simply don't. They don't. Hi. Hi, my angel. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you. You're such a cool boy. You really are. You're chivalrous, and you're polite, and you're healthy, and I love you. What's next? Holy Feminine. How to spot it and how to invoke it. Again, word of the day is love, an intense feeling of affection. To love is to destroy. one thing exchanged for another. So, going through my book of all of my deep research into, I'm like, Babylon, no. Unholy masculine, no. Human programming, no. Epigenetics. Here are my notes on the Holy Feminine. Human hybrids, nope. Mitochondria and DNA, Y chromosomes, nope. These are all things I have going on in the background, y'all. Okay, so, the unholy feminine will walk into a room and say to themselves, oh, look at all of the people here that I get to torture, rape, eat, and kill. They will be people who walk in and see people as a delicacy to take advantage of. And the holy feminine is there to gently love and to support. And if you are vested in unimaginable upgrades, then you will need to invoke the holy feminine. And if you are interested in only upgrading yourself and not interested in the word of the day, which is love, then you might be better suited for a different video that is about the unholy feminine. The unholy feminine exists in our power structures right now. The unholy feminine exists in our government. The unholy feminine exists in this kind of might is right, glamorous, torturous suspension that we're in. The unholy feminine exists in this suspension of delay and opposition. Truly, the state of the world in suspense, delay, and opposition, like this Four of Pentacles card is representing, is a marker of the unholy feminine. And the unholy feminine is something that truly destroys all. It's something that truly inverts all of the holiness in humanity and begins to crumple societies. So, unholy feminine both suffocates the voice of the holy masculine and rejects the masculine, and it also rejects caretaking. And so the holy feminine, in kind of comparison to that, honors the masculine message, and it honors caretaking, it honors protection, it honors providing for. And so I think that that's important, and potentially all that I need to say about the holy feminine and unholy feminine. And I would like to move on to how to process new concepts without being afraid. So a lot of the current state of events has caused people to be tense, too tense to be able to listen to that inner dialogue, to be free and sovereign, and to be loving. And this is a mark of that unholy feminine's agenda to limit people's access to their own freedom, right? Like this is a outcome of torture that has been invoked by the unholy feminine. The unholy masculine just simply kills, ruthlessly doesn't care. So when we're being tortured, when we as a collective are in suspense and suffering, that is a marker of the unholy feminine. So, how do we process new concepts without being afraid? Oh, well, we choose love, first of all, and we continue to develop that inner dialogue, that X factor, to create it. Now, once you are working with it, um, everything becomes more clear. You know where your boundaries are, you know where you are able to perform and what you would like to perform and what you don't want to perform. So, part of the repercussion of the unholy feminine domination right now on the planet is that people are lacking an inner dialogue, they're lacking boundary. And once we start to activate that inner dialogue, we start to know more clearly what is for us and what's not for us, and to follow that energy. And the last topic that I just briefly kind of wanted to speak about is the call to creativity and call to nature that we have right now. And then I'm going to move on to some Q&A. So the call to creativity and the call to nature is part of the divine feminine, the holy feminine. It is what we can do to help soothe and unimaginably upgrade ourselves in a world that is offering up transhumanism and that is very tethered to devices and technological expansion. The balance to finding our humanity and to remembering the magic of the holy feminine is to answer the call to nature. So recently my call to nature was in and has been in my bike riding. It usually is, but I did a 200-mile bike ride across the state last week. And while I was on this bike ride, I mean, for probably 120 miles, maybe 180 miles, I was just looking at all of this litter on the side of the road and what people throw out, which is primarily straps coming off of trucks, like tie downs, a lot of jewels, the electronic cigarette things. I haven't done them. Cell phone cords, lots of beverage containers. And so when I kind of loosened up off of just focusing on all of this trash, what I started to see was the herbs and the plants that are popping up specifically around this litter. And what it reminded me is that while we're being invoked, initiated, and called into a new world of techno-human, of technological advancement, and kind of growing into yet another species of human, which there's so many different species that exist under the human umbrella that, invoking yet another one seems very realistic to me. And yet, the old worlds are here in this world sending us messages. So old worlds of the 1600s of text and music through the ages are here with us. And if we want to go even deeper, there's messages and wisdom in this world from Lemuria and when I was looking into this litter all over the roads while I'm riding my bike, and then I started to see all of the herbs that are growing around the litter, I realized that the old world is really also here to help us. Nature is here to help us. Nature is always a part of everything. And we really do actually have everything that we need all the time. We just need to know how to ask for it and how to look for it. The human mind is a wild thing where we rarely are able to perceive something if we're not ready for it. And so that's part of why we're working on taking it slow in these videos. Even though it can seem a little bit fast-paced and dense, I'm telling you, the things that I have experienced with these government officials and with my psychic channel and with just my own research and my own experiences are pretty advanced. So we're doing it as slowly as necessary, but as quickly as possible. So follow your call to creativity, move your body, get into nature, plant some stuff, walk barefoot, and don't just do it once for Instagram. Do it all the time. Make it a part of your process. We need to be people. We need to, a drop of water just dropped on my arm. We need to remember how to be people. We need to teach others how to be people. If you followed my Instagram, you know that I'm really passionate about being kind to strangers. You know, how we show up in the world really is very important. And you can be creative with how you show up. And I even encourage it. So now we're going to move on to some Q&A. Some of it will happen quickly, some of it will not. I should have grabbed a coaster for my ice water here. It's just getting all over the table. And now all over the book. Okay. Alright. Let's go. What do aliens think of us, like in general? Well, we are generally aliens, and there are a variety of aliens, both inhabiting human bodies, if that's what you want to call it, and who are also observing us. There is a vast opinion of what we, as in quote humans, seem like to other species of aliens, and they range from like us, hate us, support us, to neutral. Do emotions exist in the afterlife? Yes. Will I tour Asia on a Hello Kitty plane? If you would like to, I suppose you'd better begin imagining that and visualizing that and really feeling what that's like. Are we entering World War III? I've been talking about this for years now. It takes a hot second for anybody to actually recognize that we are existing in a world war. So yes, and learn how to alchemize with that. And please continue following the Snake Channel content to know how to alchemize and unimaginably upgrade in war. I actually think that war is a fabulous opportunity for women especially to create very freely and thus more quickly and ceasefire in war. Is the stock market crashing? Yes, it's due to crash by September. Does my vagina hate my boyfriend? Yes. Do I got the Riz? Of course. Why do I think about the weirdest things when I come? Because you're weird, but let's just call it creative. When I eat fruit, am I eating the sun? you are eating solar energy. Why are vegetables not as yummy as fruits if they're so good for us? Not everything in life is yummy that is good for us. What do I need to focus on? Stop asking other people what to focus on. Focus on inner dialogue, okay? Will the smoky summers in the Pacific Northwest be a forever thing? No, but they will be continuous for the next several seasons. I feel creatively blocked and want to share something with the world. What is mine to share? Okay, we're going to slow down on this question because this is another outcome of somebody struggling with the energy and the outcome of the unholy feminine. So when we know that we have something to share with the world, but we don't know what is, in quote, mine to share, it means that some experiences, be it in a past life or in this current life, have caused us to not be able to listen to ourselves, but to just follow others. So when we want to begin sharing something of our own with the world, when we're being called to love, the first thing to do is to know that love is the divine ingredient to activate the holy feminine. And from there, the life of a feminine human, a feminine person, is to know that our whole lives are really a performance. And I don't say that in a way that is meant to pressure anybody, but our whole lives are a performance. So some of us are seen in our dance of femininity just to our immediate family. Some of us are seen in our workplace. Some of us are seen by hundreds of thousands of people on the internet. And in the lifelong dance and performance of the divine feminine, we're able to understand that how we are doing whatever we're doing at this very moment isn't as necessary to focus on as the big picture. What do you want people to remember you in transition like? How do you want to love people? Allowing the softness to exist around these moments of feminine and creative block or of right-minded block is really a way to also show others how to be creative when they have that block too. So keep going. You really do have something special to share with the world, whether that is to your immediate family or to your workplace or a large audience, either in real life or on the internet. Also, they're a little bit of the same. And allow yourself to really know who you want your audience to be. Some people are wonderful feminine performers for just their families, and their families get to see this beautiful transformation of a person, and it invokes true inspiration and imagination that is a butterfly effect throughout the world, just through these beautiful moments at home. And then some people are here to perform to much larger audiences, and that ripples out. But pay attention to what feels good to you, and then just know that you're already in performance. Frankie, a dog, wants to ask you something, but I'm not really quite sure what his bark means. Well, that is just fine. I believe he's asking, Do I still love him even after everything that I know? The last time I saw Frankie, we really had a lot to talk about with like past lives and such. And I just want to tell Frankie, Frankie, of course, I still love you so much. I think you're such a perfect and wild boy. And you are just the perfect balance of kind and charismatic and wild for me. And I am so happy to be your friend, Frankie. Um, Another question says, could you do some chaotic ASMR? Perhaps. Another, and the last question is, can we get a story time about your love life? Okay, so I started my adult life off with the idea and the concept that I really wanted to just immediately neglect this creative path that I'm on and to go into a traditional and into a traditional path. And so I was married to a man who had his own 3 kids. So I was a stepmom of 3 kids and married in my 20s. I simultaneously was also a teacher and a coordinator at a nonprofit, and I did so many things. And I always knew that there was a thing about me that I needed to understand more. But I really tried to comply with this traditional life. And when it did not work out, I knew that I needed to go into something different. And while I have been in a 3 long-term relationships, in my last long-term relationship, I faced several near-death experiences through sickness and in a car crash. And so um, it was this like inner voice and inner knowing that I really needed to. Where are you off to? Oh. This inner voice and inner narrative that really let me know that there was something about me that I needed to understand. I was lacking a self awareness to be the whole person that I would like to be in a relationship that is aware and like mutually dynamic and co created. And so, in my last long term relationship, I will say that I was just, honestly very coming to terms with that I wasn't, for some reason, able to be my best self in that relationship or my best self in my entire life. So I have now been pretty single for like 6 years. And I have really learned so much about myself through this time. And now that I have like a deeper awareness of self, I am getting closer to that moment of like just manifesting my perfect partner for me. And in the meantime, my love life looks like I have an ability to just be in love, to just be in the frequency of being in love. I love being in love with everything that I see and everyone that I do, that I come across in my day-to-day life. In my day-to-day life, I really do kind of like run around the world like Belle from Beauty and the Beast at the beginning of the movie, where she's going, hello, 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 hello. And I love existing like that. I really know how to turn that energy on and how to just let the universe take care of me. And relationships, period. So I prioritize my relationship with my friends, with my loved ones. And of course, I also have some dear lovers that I can turn to when I am in need of like intimate, true love that can carry me through whatever chapters I am going in. And I have avoided all trendy relationship labels like poly or whatever. Like I've heard some like super gag worthy terms for people trying to express what I'm doing with my love life, and they've attempted to call me something like solo poly and stuff like that. But like I am actually just single, and I am actually just totally like in love with the fact that I have this freedom to do this. I also am really blessed that I have been in long-term relationships with beautiful people. I have definitely been graced with the love of some very wonderful men, and I am really grateful for all of the love and all of the experiences in love that I have been able to tap into. And so I don't know. That's a little story time about my love life, and I'm really proud of the versions of me and the work that I've done to become as self-aware as I am right now. And I know that that can always just deepen, and I love exploring life. And now I also know the things that I truly value about life and about how I want to age. And so I know that when I do, magnetize, manifest, experience, co-create that moment where I meet my next partner, that we'll just know that we totally enjoy and value the same things because we will be doing those things. So those are all things that I couldn't have known about myself when I was married in my 20s, and these were all things that I had the suspicion that I wanted to discover more about after my near-death experiences in my 20s. And yeah, if there's anything that I can say about my love life previously, it's that I have learned, I have grown, I am super grateful to have the opportunity to love and to grow. I believe so wholeheartedly in love, and I encourage everybody to fall in love as often as possible, whether that is with a experience or with a new person. The more that we're able to fall in love, the more we find out about ourselves in a very beautiful way. And falling in love is such a fun secret. And I think that we need to make secrets fun again. So, what do you think, my angel? Oh, Shesha says that it has been an honor to share so much space and time with me as I've gone through these transitions of love, and that he didn't quite understand so much about love until he saw me diving into all of the experiments and experiences that I have. So that's sweet, babe. Thank you. And I believe that that is it for today's episode. It feels like it might have been a little bit of a shorter episode, and that is okay. trust wholeheartedly in the universe that we exist in a kind universe that is here to unimaginably upgrade us, and it will. And know that wherever our thoughts are is where we are. So, as we continue to cultivate space for inner dialogue, we also are cultivating space for further unimaginable upgrades. And I believe in you. I think that you are magic and that you are literally perfect in every way. However you are, whatever your skill is, you are really absolutely symbiotically precious in this universe. And yeah, I will be here, there, and everywhere. I'm looking forward to a trip that I leave for tomorrow. And I am always able to check everything wherever I am. So please do send in your questions, comments, shares, and know that I'm here with Shesha in Psychic Space and Beyond. Looking forward to talking with you about everything from alchemizing in times of war to human genetics to Y chromosomes to big history through DNA to how to cultivate psychic space, how to generate the it energy, how to stay open to the universe, how to take care of ourselves as people, and by and large, just how to continue cultivating love in a time that seems to be oppressing it in any way that I can. Love really does shine on, and we are going to just love so strong and so much stronger through all of this. And I look forward to it all with gratitude and joy. Thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you for being here. I am truly grateful for all of these opportunities that we share. And so is Shesha. So is Shesha. Yeah. You're such a cool dude. I love you so much. I love you so much. Well, Sheesh, thanks for stacking up on me today. That was very nice. That was very nice. You really did it, huh? Yeah, you did. Mm. You're my man. I love you. I do. I love you so much. Time to make some other kinds of videos, I think. Oh, you're such a cutie patootie. You are such a cutie